Is set for a big fight, and Al has a look at Carlos Tite. Carlos Tite is seeking win number 24 and renewed momentum when he takes on Don LaLonde tonight. In his nearby hometown of Hammond, Carlos had the fight of his life in September of last year against Vampire Johnson. The 8th round was wild. First, Tite hurt Vampire, and then Johnson came back to stun Tite and the partial Hammond crowd. They fought 10 tough rounds, and Johnson's late third put the issue in doubt.
Still undefeated, the Indiana State middleweight champion, Carlos the Fourth Tite! Carlos Tite!
Things were even rougher the next time we saw Tite on ESPN. Kenny Whetstone surprised Tite with his power and put him down in the first round. But the 26-year-old Tite is nothing if not gutty, and he hung in until the 10th when he put Whetstone down. The comeback wasn't quite enough.
And Phil Newman scores it 5-4-1 for the winner by a majority decision, Whetstone.
Tite was bitterly disappointed, but later avenged the loss, knocking Whetstone out in 7 to set the stage for tonight's fight against Don LaLonde, the invader from Canada.
Well, it's very important. Like I said last time I was on television, I got beat. I come back and I knocked Kenny out in the 7th round, and so this is my first trip back on TV, and I'm going to make sure that I don't disappoint a lot of people out there this time.
What about Don LaLonde? He is an opponent that many people feel might be the toughest guy you faced. Do you size it up that way?
He'll be very tough. I don't know. I haven't fought him yet, so I can't say if he would be my toughest opponent. But as of right now, I'm going there with the intention that he is going to be, and I'm just going to take care of business, that's all.
And the business in front of Carlos the Fourth Tite is Don LaLonde, the Canadian light heavyweight champion. He won that championship last year. There you see him in the ring. He has got an impressive record of 17-1, 13 knockouts. He has dropped down from 175 pounds to 168. Al had a chance to talk with him earlier today about tonight's fight.
While you probably have more boxing skills than Carlos Tite, you and he are not that far apart in terms of your approach to the sport. You both can punch. You both are aggressive fighters with good heart. Does that similarity, what does that mean for the fight tonight?
It means it's going to be 100% or 200% effort. I think it's going to be, like they said in the paper down here, it's not going to be a fight. It's going to be a war, and it's going to be a war to the finish. I think both of us are going to give all we can, and I know that his isn't going to be enough, but it's going to be a good, tough fight.
This fight is important to you because of exposure here in this country and all over, indeed. Is the idea tonight to win impressively and set yourself up for something more substantial in the near future?
Definitely. My ultimate goal is to win a world title against Michael Spinks. We may fight for the super middleweight title first, which would be great to me, but at the same time, to make it worth that much more and to let everybody out there knows what's going on, it was essential that I got on ESPN to show everybody what we can do.
You train in Indiana. You've trained with Marvin Johnson, the former champion, and you and Carlos Tite have a little history, in a sense, together. You've sparred with him. There aren't necessarily the best feelings between you two. Sometimes that's hype, but in this case, it may be true.
Definitely it is true. I think boxing is a sport where a lot of young people look up to the people in the ring there. And Carlos, it's almost an insult to me the way he carries himself and represents the sport as he's such a cocky, arrogant, and bully type guy. And people are watching it like that. And how can their parents say, hey, I want you to be like him? Or how can the kids say, Daddy, I want to be like this guy? He doesn't project himself very well. And I think that it's important that people watching it are portrayed the right way for boxing.
Donny LaLonde on the left, on the right, Carlos the Fourth Tite. You talk about cool. Don LaLonde in the ring, bouncing around. In came Carlos Tite to the tune of Rocky, and Don LaLonde went over and patted him on the head. Hey, there is some feeling in this Holiday Star Theater, and a lot of feeling between these two fighters. LaLonde and Tite, not necessarily friends, folks. We're set for the introductions. Let's go to Stu Goldner to get them.
Ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of super middleweight boxing. Your referee, Mike DeFavis. In the red corner, weighing 169 pounds, wearing gold trunks, with a record of 17-1, third ranked and the Canadian light heavyweight champion from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, the Golden Boy, Don LaLonde. His opponent in the blue corner, weighing 168.5 pounds, wearing maroon trunks with a black trim, with a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, Indiana middleweight champion from Hammond, Indiana, Carlos the Fourth Tite.
Well, there's no question whom the fans are backing in this one. Look at the look of determination on the face of Carlos the Fourth Tite, and look at Lalonde. Wow.
In case of a knockdown, there'll be a mandatory 8 count, 3 knockdowns in 1 round, and the battle ends. You can't be saved by the bell except in the last round. Let's have a good, clean fight. Go back to your corners. Let's wait for the bell.
All right. Yes. There's some feeling and some emotion in the ring. There is 24-year-old Don LaLonde from Winnipeg, 26-year-old Carlos Tite from Hammond, Indiana, fighting as super middleweight. And here we go, scheduled for 10. Oh boy. Donny LaLonde does not like Carlos Tite, and Carlos Tite does not like Donny LaLonde. It's that simple, folks. So you'll see some true aggression acted out in this ring. Donny LaLonde refuses to let Carlos Tite get inside. Tite wants to get inside and bang the body. The rancor aside, technically the way this fight sets up is the jab of LaLonde, very important. He's landed it early. He wants Tite on the outside of those punches. Tite, who landed his own left hand, would like to use his left jab to work his way in and fight off LaLonde's chest. Don LaLonde has a big scar on his left shoulder. He suffered a shoulder separation playing hockey at the age of 17. He's had 2 shoulder operations, 1 last year. He has some limitation in the mobility of that left hand. Well, he's got it in an awkward position right now, way out far in front of him. And I've never seen anybody hold his arm like that in a boxing ring. Very strange, but he's landing the jab on Tite when Tite comes in. Most of Don LaLonde's fights have been fought in Canada. He's fought twice in South Dakota. His only loss was to Vampire Johnson, which he avenged, knocking the Vampire out a couple of months afterwards. The only loss for Carlos Tite was to Kenny Whetstone. He too avenged that one by knocking out Whetstone in a rematch. We're midway through the first round. Early in this fight, LaLonde using his height and reach advantage very effectively, throwing the jab and the straight right hand in, keeping Carlos Tite at bay and off balance. Now you might ask, why would Don LaLonde come down from light heavyweight? He is ranked number 3 in the world by the IBF among the light heavyweights, but he felt he needed the exposure here in the United States, wanted a national TV showing, and he's got it here, showing us an awkward style. He is awkward but effective is the way they describe him. He is a boxer, it's just that he's an awkward boxer. And another reason for him to come down to this weight is, if he wins here tonight, he may fight Murray Sutherland for the IBF super middleweight title. In fact, the winner of this fight is likely to get that. A very nice performance, I think, thus far in the first round by Carlos Tite. He has not let any of the mimicking and walking by LaLonde face him, and he landed a big left hook. LaLonde says, I'm not hurt. There's 25 seconds to go in round 1. Tite has been very patient. Here's where the small ring comes into play. He's able to pull LaLonde around into those ropes. Final seconds of the first round. Our main event is scheduled for 10. Don't go away. Well, Don LaLonde trying to intimidate Carlos Tite a little bit at the beginning of the round, probably because Tite tried to intimidate him just before the fight began. None of that to start the second round. Just boxing. Carlos Tite in the purple trunks. In the gold trunks, Don LaLonde. LaLonde is able to land the left jab and the left hook almost at will against Tite. But Carlos Tite has a good chin. He's very difficult to discourage. He fought Kenny Whetstone. Tite did with a broken jaw for 7 rounds. And that's no hype. That's
And he fought Bill Bradley with a broken hand for 5 rounds when he won the Indiana Middleweight Championship. I'll tell you something, I'm looking at Don LaLonde. He's taking a lot of deep breaths. I wonder if he's still suffering from some nerves here.
I agree with you 100%. This is an all-important fight to him, and I think he is still a little bit tense and tight, but he's not fighting badly.
Glancing left hook scored for Carlos Tite.
You know what? Don LaLonde has the physical stature and boxing ability to win a decision in this fight. It's up to Carlos Tite to land his shots and get inside. And this ring was just a small one, doesn't hurt Tite. Good combination.
Oh.
He hurt Carlos Tite.
Tite backs
Tite's
off.
in trouble.
And another good left scores for LaLonde. He's scoring all out.
Oh.
Tite is wobbling. Down he goes. And he is badly cut over the right eye. The count is 8. Tite is up at 9. He has a terrible cut. LaLonde now mimicking instead of getting down to business and trying to close the show. Tite is hurt again.
He better punch. He better play.
Tite is cut over both eyes.
Carlos Tite in all kinds of trouble.
This fight is almost over. This fight is seconds away from being over as Tite goes down again.
That should not be a knockdown.
It is ruled a knockdown. The count is 8. It's all over.
Well, very strange goes on in that ring.
Mike DeFavis stops it. A vicious cut over the right eye of Carlos Tite. He was clearly knocked down once. The second knockdown, a questionable one. But Tite was cut over both eyes. Bad one over the right eye, another one over the left. Donny LaLonde had predicted a second-round knockout. It happened.
He said he would have fun in 1 and Tite would be through in 2. He told us that earlier. That's what happened. Let's look at it. You will see as you look at Carlos Tite. Here's the first knockdown. At this point, Carlos Tite was hurt with a counterpunch by LaLonde. The right and the left hurt him. Now, LaLonde landed some good shots on the rope. He put his punches together extremely well. Carlos Tite never been a good fighter off the ropes, and it's the problem. And the uppercut, this is the punch that really hurt him.
Look at those shots.
And at this point, Carlos Tite in very bad shape. But watch this. Is this a knockdown? Let's take a look. Tite in all kinds of trouble, but it would appear that he's pushed on by Don LaLonde. Now here, LaLonde pushes him down.
Yeah.
Not a knockdown, which makes the stoppage of the fight controversial. Even though, as we look at it, even though it seems unlikely Carlos Tite was going to weather this storm.
Well,
You
I'll
see
say
it
this.
again.
He got up. Mike DeFavis, the referee, gave him a close look. He
Yes,
looked at
he
both
did.
cuts. There are
Indeed.
cuts over both eyes. Tite had been hurt badly, and Tite has left the ring already. A very, very disappointed Carlos Tite, a very happy Don LaLonde, and I think I really don't disagree with him stopping the fight at that point. It was a hurt Carlos Tite, badly cut, and that knockdown notwithstanding, I think the move was right.
I think the only thing that makes it controversial is that second knockdown wasn't a knockdown, so that when he stopped it, some people might question it.
Let's go into the ring to Stu Goldner, and he will give us the official time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by technical knockout at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the second round, the Golden Boy, Don LaLonde.
Well, if there was any question about Don LaLonde, he's answered it. Young man comes down, worked with Marvin Johnson and Freddie Minton, sparring the last several weeks here in Indiana, and he was ready for Carlos the Fourth Tite. He got loose in the second round, and he put an end to Carlos Tite in a hurry. Have you caught our in LaLonde? Let's go to Al now.
Right now, Don LaLonde is the Golden Boy. Maybe not to this pro Carlos Tite crowd, but certainly to a lot of the people watching, especially those of you watching in Winnipeg. I know you've got a lot of people watching up there, and you were very conscious. You wanted to come down here and show people there are some Canadian fighters who can fight.
That's right, exactly. Not only that can fight, but that can use her head in there and make the other guy miss. He was the brawler, and we were the boxer. First time Canada's showing the world that they can walk around obstacles instead of through them. You know, I was really happy. Hello, Winnipeg.
Okay, indeed. Now, as we take a look a little bit at some of that action, Don, we will be getting to see this leading up to the first knockdown. Talk to us about it.
Well, he was kind of hard to hit because he was down like that. But from watching his films, I noticed he only goes down like that when he's hurt. So I knew he was hurt, so I could take the punch. You know, it's a little bit risky holding your hands like that and throwing him up. So I knew he was hurt, so I could do it.
The key was the uppercut, which you landed, and we'll see you landed here, I think. It was excellent.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I say, that's from watching film. You know why he's like he is. He was like that because he was hurt and he didn't know what to do. He was confused.
All right, let's take a look at the second knockdown, which really, I don't know if it was a knockdown. He was very hurt. It looked like a push.
No, he was just sort of hanging on me. I didn't really put a lot of force, but it was because I pushed him down. He was like hanging on, and you won't fall if you're hanging on. So I just figured, let him let go, and whatever happens, happens. You know, and he fell down.
Speaking of force, one of the things you came up with prior to this fight, and we should say there was quite a battle going on in the press here in Indiana before this fight. Neither of these two fighters liked each other too much. You called Carlos Tite, who is known as the Force, you called him the Farce, and I saw you yelling that to the people here.
I did. I'm just playing up on it. You know, I mean, Carlos is a great guy. I mean, he's a very tough guy. He worked really hard for the fight. He's got 23-2 record now. He should keep on going. Take nothing away from Carlos. He was beaten by a better fighter. That's going to happen in everybody's career. Yeah, I was calling Carlos the Farce just to edge him because he takes stuff personally. Like I said, he's an arrogant bully type guy, and you tell a guy like that something, and he just gets ferocious.
Is that why you came out and mugged at him at the beginning?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it was going to be a mental thing. He thought he was the strong guy, and I was the boxer. And I just wanted to show him right away that that's not the way it was.
Don, in that first round and in the second, even though you looked calm, there were a few moments where we saw you taking a very deep breath. I thought maybe you were still a little tense going into that second round.
Not so much tense, but a little bit, not tired, but I mean breathing hard. Because there was a lot of action in the first round, and I worked really hard. I wasn't nearly tired. But I told my trainer Pete that it's going to take me 2 or 3 rounds to break my win. Because it's been like 2 weeks since I've had hard sparring because of the traveling and stuff like that. I wanted to taper off right. I started training a bit too early for the fight. So I knew my win would take a while to break. That's all it was doing, just trying to break my win. I would like to say, Michael Spinks, I hope you're watching. Murray Sutherland, I hope you're watching. Actually, I hope you weren't watching, then you'll take the fight. But they're next. Winnipeg, September 8th will be the next one. Murray Sutherland or defend my Canadian title. I'm going to keep busy until I get a world title shot.
All right, Don LaLonde may be a TV commentator because he just made the best segue in the world. This is Bob Arum, the president of Top Rank, and he talked about a possible fight with Murray Sutherland, the IBF super middleweight title holder. Indeed, is that in the offing?
Yes, Murray Sutherland has a contract where he's going to Korea to fight Shung Pao Park to defend his title, and we've already opened up negotiations with the Sutherland people to have Donny challenge Murray Sutherland for the title sometime early this fall, and we hope to have that fight in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we hope to have that fight on ESPN.
Okay, we would love to see it. Let me ask you a question, Bob. We talked before, the champ's not too thrilled with it, we talked before the fight about the fact that Canadian fighters come in with a stigma. Don was very conscious of that. What about you as a promoter? Was there the sense that he had to prove himself here before you could even give him a good shot?
I never heard about Canadian fighters having a stigma. I go back to George Chuvalo and Clyde Gray. I mean, they were fine fighters up there. Nicky Filano was a good fighter, Gaten Hart. I mean, on and on. I mean, it's just a bum rap. If you don't know a kid and you bring him down and he doesn't pan out, well, the promoter is to blame, but there's some very, very good fighters in Canada. There really are, Al.
Well, I believe you after tonight. Don, let me just ask you about Sutherland now. If indeed you get into the ring with Murray Sutherland, off what you've seen of him, what can you do with him?
I think I'd fight him like Thomas Hearns fought him. I had an exhibition with Hearns. I know the way he fights, and it was very effective. It was the way he stayed away from him. Murray's a very crafty guy. I wouldn't try to bang with him like I did Carlos. Stand back, box him. It's like 12 rounds. I can do that, no problem. And I can stay away from Murray and just outbox him. I'm not going to knock him out in 2 or anything like that. It'll be a 12-round win, and I'm going to win the world title when I do it. I would like to thank Mr. Bob Arum and all his associates, Mr. Bruce Trampler, Pete Susan, all the people down the line who have given me this shot. I've been wanting it for a long time.
All right, we talk about Murray Sutherland, super middleweight. You are, however, by trade, a light heavyweight. Do you still have aspirations of then moving up and maybe challenging for the light heavyweight title?
Definitely. I would like to win the super middleweight title first, hang on to it, defend it for a while, and let my body grow into a light heavyweight. I think I am a light heavyweight what I want to be, but this new diet I've been on and getting down to 69, I think helped me out a lot. I felt a lot faster tonight.
Well, Carlos Tite thinks that Don LaLonde was a lot faster tonight. He put an end to Carlos Tite before a pro Carlos Tite crowd. Let's go back to Sam Rosen at ringside.
Thanks, Al, and congratulations to the Golden Boy. Don LaLonde, he comes in to